Alright, what we're going to discuss today is Lab Exercise 8-2. We're going to talk about selective colorization. We've probably seen photographs in the past where it'll be a grayscale image and maybe it just has a red petal of a rose or something like that. We also looked at how to select colorize a car to change the color of a car. So there's a lot of uses for this. We went to IA class, we went to lab resources, and under Unit 2, Lesson 8, I downloaded a lab or the image 8-2A, and I loaded it into GIMP, so I assume that you know how to do that by now. We're going to take this particular image, and we're going to add color to it, and it should be something similar to this when we get done. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing, make sure we're in GIMP, and I'm going to select image and go to mode, and I'm going to make sure that you're in RGB mode. Yours may come up in a grayscale, so make sure you select RGB. It's going to allow you to add color. The next thing is we're going to add a layer on top of this so we can paint on it. So I'm going to go layer, new layer. I'm going to name the new layer statue. The width and height, that's just going to be the same as the picture, and I'm just going to have a layer fill type with transparency so I can see through it. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, you have to remember to change your mode. If I select in normal right now and I use my paintbrush and maybe I change to a blue color, and when I paint, I didn't change to blue. There you go. And when I paint, it actually paints over and you can't see the shadows, and that's not what we want. So I just Control Z to undo that. I want to be able to see the shadows in the back and use that shadow to get a darker color or a lighter color. So that's when we're going to go to mode, and we're going to make sure we're in the statue layer and change that to color. Now when I use my paintbrush, it'll get lighter as I go down, and then when I go across something you'll still be able to see it. Alright, so that's kind of the trick. We make sure that we use the color mode. So once again I just hit Command Z. Alright, so for the first one we're going to go over here to our color wheel, and we're going to paint the statue. We're going to use the color code 5B9E5B. Once I type that in, I'm going to hit OK. And so now I can start. I'm going to statue again, using that green for the copper. Spend a lot of time on this. Alright, don't just use the one brush wheel. You want to change the size. You really want to zoom in. So down here, maybe 200, and you may want to go up to 400%. And spend your time getting the edges. Alright, you also want to change the size, especially when you're up here on on the Statue of Liberty's crown. Like I said, really just make that small. Spend a lot of time, make this look good. It's going to have a lot better result. Alright, so I've already finished my statue. Now you may want to use the eraser if you go over anything like that. So if I've drawn a line out here like this, I can go back and use the eraser and just. Once we have the statue complete, now we're ready to get to the pedestal. So we're going to open up a new layer. And I'm going to type in pedestal. Once again, transparent fill type, width and height to match the picture. Alright, so with that selected, once again, We're going to go change this to color, and the color we're going to use, I've already changed it, but we're going to use DDAC 9E. Alright, so I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to go around the edge. Now be careful, you want to make sure you zoom in. It's going to make your final product look a whole lot better. So zoom in, take your time. And I like just kind of going around the outline with a small. And then fill in with a bigger paintbrush. But make sure I get my edges with a small. And I'm using right now about a size 9. And you may want to go smaller or larger, whatever you're comfortable with. Just a heads up, or just a heads up. You can adjust your size in 3 different ways, depending on where you put your mouse. Put your mouse, this is going to click wherever you are in that window. So you can adjust your size quickly that way. Or you can go down here and drag, and that's for a more accurate paintbrush. So you can, like I said, you have your options, and you can just go out here and click and drag. Or I can go over here and just double click and change the number. So any of those 3 ways works. Alright, so now I've completed my pedestal. Alright, now we're ready to add the sky. And we have a big advantage with this one. We want to use layers. If we did it all in one single one, we'd have to go in with the blue sky and do the edges just like we did with the pedestal and the statue. However, we're going to create a layer and we're going to name it Sky, and I'm going to hit OK. Alright, now the sky is actually going to go behind the pedestal and statue. So we can color everything in and then move our layers in front to replace the green. So we can use a large paintbrush, and I'm going to change my color to 1A3979 and hit OK. And I'm going to paint over, I forgot to do my normal, so like I said, I just Control Z to undo, go over here, go to color again, and paint over everything. And I'm going to zoom out to make this a little bit quicker. Make sure I've gotten everything. And once I've finished, now I'm going to move my sky back below my pedestal and statue. Alright, and then a lot of times you can get in here and now I'm going to see where I didn't paint. You can see the blue hue. So now I need to go back in the statue, change my color again. These are your previously selected. So I'm going to click on it, hit OK, change my brush. Make sure in that layer. And really zoom in. And now I'm going to take the time and fix my issues here. Alright, and now I've fixed all my issues, and so now I've colorized my picture. Alright, the last thing to do is go ahead and export this. File, export. Alright, and it's going to be your name, lab 8-2a.jpg, export it and send it to drop it to me, and you've completed this lab. Alright, hopefully now you understand how to colorize and some of the importance and some of the things you can do with it or accomplish with it. Alright, so now to the next lesson.